I'm here with Kane Phillips, this beautiful gentleman, who happens to run sound for
Ice Nine Kills.
which is a really, really cool band. They're doing a lot of cool theatrical stuff on stage that I don't think many people are doing. Someone say it's a little eccentric, but I mean, that's part of
It's the charm of the band.
it.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
where are you from?
From Melbourne, Australia.
Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah.
Is there a big music community in Melbourne, Australia? I've never been there. I would love to go. And also, are the bugs as big as they say they are?
Yes and no. There's a lot of them.
Okay.
The big ones you don't want to worry about. They're fine.
Really?
It's the little ones.
I've seen the horror stories, like the big old spiders and all the...
Yeah,
and they're fine?
It's fine. The big ones are not a problem. It's the little ones.
That
They're
sounds
they're
terrifying.
the poisonous ones.
That sounds terrifying. So what got you into music? Is there a big music community over there? Or?
Melbourne is a big music city.
Okay.
The music industry in Australia is big, but small at the same time. There's not many cities to tour, kind of thing. But I guess what got me into music was mum and dad playing records at home as a kid. Failed musician, I guess.
You can buy a shirt below.
But I kind of knew I wanted to do sound more than I wanted to do music at a younger age.
Okay.
I knew that my band was not, it was just an outlet for me. It wasn't like,
What'd you play?
I play guitar.
Okay.
I knew that that was just fun. But as like professional life, I knew that I wasn't really interested in playing in bands and doing that kind of hustle. I liked being behind the scenes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So once you kind of realized you wanted to be behind the scenes, what was how'd you know you wanted to do the sound stuff? Was it just kind of anything behind the scenes, or?
It was a happy accident, I guess.
Okay.
Like I kind of fell into it there was like a local guy that I grew up in a small town, and my school had like 500 kids. So I was the only person that wanted to do sound, and he was the only person that did sound in the town. So it kind of like just kind of worked really well because he needed some help, and I was willing to work for free. So.
Okay, you worked with him, and then what was after that?
I kind of worked at networking was a thing really quickly because he kind of introduced me to a guy that knew a guy that got me my first job at like a school theater. I did go to university. I did kind of a music degree, music performance, but a little bit of studio sound as well. I was still kind of flip-flopping between studio and live.
Okay. Did you start off with wanting to do studio, or was it kind of like, I want to try both
A
and
bit
just
of
try a
both.
bunch
I just
of
like both.
different
I
things?
like recorded my own band, my friends' bands. We just kind of did lots of stuff in a bedroom at home. And then I kind of just worked out that I maybe didn't have the patience to be a studio guy. I don't want to sit there and listen to the same snare drum over and over.
And again.
Yeah, I kind of like the challenge of being a live guy. Of like, go, get it done.
At least you know when the song's done
Yeah,
live. It's like, okay, it's done
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
For recording, how do you know when the song's ever
Exactly.
done? I guess when time runs out.
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. When the money's up.
So, take me to your first time on tour, man.
Okay.
Because I'm sure you didn't just
Yeah.
go in a studio
No.
to like being on the road.
No, I worked for kind of not a corporate company, but not a rock and roll company for about 6 years, as like just a PA tech, a venue tech, just doing whatever they did. I did my first tour with them, but Australian tour is a little bit different to touring
How so?
maybe the US or Europe. We don't have buses, and the distance between cities is quite great. Like it's 10 to 12 hour drive between most cities, so you can't really do that. So you're flying everywhere, and there's not many cities as well. So like a typical Australian tour might just be Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, and you've done that in 3 days, and then your next tour might be the same venues those 3 days back up the coast.
Interesting.
Yeah. So my first tour was like my first tour was an orchestra.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, we did it at Doctor Who Spectacular. I was like a small fish in a big pond kind of thing. I was like just the youngest guy. I must have been like 21, something like that. And I was just dealing with all of the in-ear packs that the orchestra had, all the click track, because they were playing to live Doctor Who videos and score. And
So you do front of house and I guess.
so for that tour, I was just doing PA rigging and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just kind of like the new guy.
Yeah.
And they're like, the other guys kind of sort everything out, and my job was to put out 200 IEM packs.
One thing I found interesting is that I see a lot of engineers that are here that have kind of skipped the traditional path with it being working on the stage, doing PA, doing patching, and it's cool to see that you have actually done the other things. Not saying that everybody hasn't done that, but I've seen some people who have been here that actually have no clue how to hang that, or how that actually works. Do you feel like that affects your mixing much or your approach to it?
I think it does a little bit. I think a little more about the room or how the deployment of the PA rather than in the box, the console, fixing things. Having just been through, I went and worked at what's now a Claire branch in Australia, but I did that after that company for a bunch of years. And I started doing like SE stuff, flying PAs in arenas, so I kind of have a bit more of an understanding of what goes on inside the computer.
Yeah.
So that changes my approach to mixing in a few ways, just that I will think about the PA deployment first.
Sure.
Or the room, the actual physical space that we're in.
Okay.
How it's going to impact, because I know a space like this, what I'm listening to down here is going to be drastically different to what's happening on the second or third floor.
So did that start getting you out of Australia on that tour? Or were you still mainly?
That first tour, it was like a 2-week thing. We did that, and then I kind of just went through the runs of just patching festivals, being a house monitor guy at festivals, just doing all the, whatever there was at home.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I moved to London in 2019 that I started working for Britannia Row, and that's when I kind of fell into
Britannia Row, that's pretty freaking cool.
a big tour. I was one of the PA techs on a Mumford & Sons tour, which was fun. That was my first big tour was that the biggest tour.
What inspired you to go from Australia to over the pond?
I knew that the touring market was just greater overseas. You could instead of doing a 1-week tour, you could do a 6-month tour, and really lock in. And
that's a big commitment to move.
Yes.
To a whole different country.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
And I went over there with no promises either. I had some connections. I knew the guys at Britannia Row from some people that were at home.
So you went before you had the job? Or did you have the job and then,
I went over there and just went to meet them. I just we figured, I was confident enough in myself. I was like, I think I think I'm okay at this. As just a PA rigger, they'll find work for me somewhere.
Yeah.
If I'm pulling out feeder, if I'm doing it, whatever, I'll find a place to do that. Mixing came a little later for me. It was when I started meeting people and working with productions directly. I guess is where I started finding myself behind a console more, or more for the same people.
Yeah, that's cool. What was that like on Mumford & Sons? Was it like an eye-opening experience for you?
Cool. I never worked on a tour that big, being part of the core crew. I guess when tours like that came to Australia, you were the delay guy or something. You were additional help, but not really.
Yeah, like a local reinforcement.
Yeah, local reinforcement is perfect.
Yeah.
So that was cool being and my eyes were just huge. I was I've never seen anything like this before. I would sit at front of house for every show and just watch everyone. Just wanted to be there and learn as much as I could at the time. And I think that has helped me a lot, just meeting.
At that point, did you know you wanted to do front of house? Was that kind of your first introduction to?
I knew I wanted to mix. I knew I wanted to mix, and I wanted to mix at that scale. But I knew that I had to earn it. I had to meet the people. I had to do the hard yards and kind of get through that. I think at the time, and I still kind of do, I lean a little bit more to doing monitors, which is funny. It's just been my mostly what I've been doing, mixing wise. Front of house kind of happened by accident for me. So doing a tour back home last year, this is where I met Ice Nine Kills. I got asked to step in to do front of house for another band that I do, the Amity Affliction.
Okay, yeah.
I was hired as the monitor engineer. Something happened to the front of house. He wasn't able to do the tour at the time. So I went out and did front of house for them. And then Ice Nine Kills was a direct support. And they also had a problem with the front of house. So I ended up doing both front of house on that job, which is led into this year, and I'm still doing front of house for both at the moment. So on a tour I was supposed to do not front of house for anyone. I ended up doing both.
So which do you prefer?
I don't know. I kind of like.
Yeah.
I like both. The one thing I hate front of house is trying to like navigate through the crowd. That's my biggest gripe with it.
It's such different worlds, front of house and monitors. I mean, one is, I wouldn't say it's more, I guess I'd say it's more artistic. You get a little more artistic freedom, so to speak. The other one is more like service focused.
Yes. Yeah. There's instant reaction like from the band. If you're doing monitors, you kind of know if they've asked for something, you do it, they get the thumbs up, everything's good.
Yeah, and your communication has to be on point.
Yeah, yeah.
And arguably, I wouldn't say it's more important, but I mean, you've got the most important people because they sign your paycheck.
Exactly.
Really.
I like that. I like the instant like gratification, or the instant like, yep, we're good.
Yeah.
Like they know that, like, and you know that they're good, everyone's happy on stage and the show's going well. Out here, sometimes you can be like, you get a little into your own head.
Yeah.
If something's like, that doesn't sound like I want it to sound, and then you can kind of.
When you came onto this camp, did you walk into an already set file and then worked from there, or did you start from scratch,
Started from
or did you have
scratch.
time to even do that? Because I know sometimes they like, I need you here yesterday, and we
Yeah.
have a show today.
No, in the Australia tour, I just used what we had because it was a very last minute thing. I kind of just throw and go. But for this tour, now that I'm like officially with the band, we got a whole new console in, we got a whole new setup, and just started from scratch in pre-production.
Yeah.
So we had a few days to kind of get things going.
That's cool.
Which was nice, yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of, I like just to have things that I know how to use. It's more about workflow than it is anything else.
Sure.
The S6, I just know where things are.
Yeah. Did you get to choose mics as well, or does the band own? Does the band rent? Do you?
We rent everything.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Mic-wise, they were kind of already set a little bit.
Cool.
But myself and the monitor guy, Hamish, had a bit of just play. Nothing was set in stone mic-wise, so we just kind of trialed and errored a few things and
Yeah.
worked out the best outcome for us, really.
That's
Things that we
cool.
liked. Vocal mic's probably the biggest thing that we kind of switch around.
What did you guys land on for vocal mic?
All the lead vocal is on an M80 capsule.
Oh, Telefunken.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was on a KSM9 when we started, which is great for some of the bigger rooms. I really like the quality of the sound that comes out of that, but some of the smaller rooms, the cymbal bleed and everything is just picked up. Being a condenser mic, it just gave too much of everything else and not enough of the vocal.
Yeah.
And we went through a few others and we landed on the M80 just being like the right kind of curve.
Yeah. What was the hardest song for you to get locked in on this tour, but now you're on the flip side of that going like, I love this now.
Yeah.
Is there one that kind of took you a minute to lock it in?
Well, the interesting thing about this tour in particular is we're doing 2 nights in every venue.
Every venue?
Some of them there's a one-off and it's like kind of like a mash of both nights.
You get like a redo for every single one, which is really cool.
But we're doing different set lists every night. It's one album one night, one album the next night. So there's someone coming as a new front of house. There's a lot of songs. There's like 35 songs that I had to. We only really did one full day of run-throughs in rehearsals, so it was like a lot of content to kind of consume into my brain. Going through the first few nights, everything was still kind of fresh. Now that we're towards the end of the tour, I feel like I've locked in things a little better. I kind of know the delay throws. I know where things get like really busy,
Sure.
so you can kind of create that space preemptively rather than reactively.
Is it the same set list each time? Like
Yes.
for each? Okay.
Yeah, so night one is the Silver Scream
Okay.
album, and then night 2 is Welcome to Horrorwood.
Got it. So are you doing a lot of snapshots with it, or are you kind of writing as you go?
I generally would do a lot of snapshots, but having so much crammed into like the one-day rehearsals, and then we were on the road,
Yeah.
and we're also doing the one-offs, which have a different set list. We did a couple festival slots. We did Sonic Temple. We're going to do Warped Tour, and we're doing the Metallica opening slot. So there's so many different set lists. It was just, otherwise I'd have a scene list that was 100 scenes long, and I just decided that was not the way to go, because I'm going to change my mind from rehearsal room to now. So I'm just kind of on the fly. I've got a bunch of event keys that I do just to kind of automate some things, but it's almost like a theater production, mixing some of the things like.
I kind of love that because you get to be in with it as like with the instrument instead of just kind of going through next
Yeah.
scenes a
Yeah.
bit. Are they doing time code for this or?
Yes, the lighting show and video is all time coded.
Okay.
I'm not running anything
Okay.
time code wise.
Tracks?
Yes.
Is it
It's not track heavy. There's just a lot because they have a lot of things from
theatrical?
theatrical.
Stuff.
There's
Yeah.
movies. There's screams. There's like sound effects like axe swings, orchestral like string parts and stuff that we just don't have the live musicians for, or we can't have someone screaming into the mic like a horror movie. So
What is? Did you approach this the same with it being so theatrical? Did you approach this the same as you approach other ones, other bands that you've done before?
a little bit.
And what is maybe a little bit different from other more normal shows?
Yeah.
Is there some curveballs that you kind of have to adapt for with?
Yeah. I mean, that's like the base thing. Like I set up my drums, the way I set up the routing of things, groups and whatnot. That was all the same because that's a workflow thing. It's just so I know where it is. But I think the actual mixing of it, it's not a static mix. It's not a like set and forget
Yeah.
kind of thing. Once the drums are locked in, doesn't mean they're going to be locked in for the next song. Because it's quite dynamic. There's some songs that are full blast beats, some songs that are quite like pulled back rock and roll things.
Yeah.
The guitar patch changes drastically throughout the set. And then there's 4 vocalists. So it's like there's a lot going on at any one time. It's sonically busy, so trying to create space for everything.
So what's your process in doing that? Because it could be just chaos with it. What's your process of like not making it chaos, but giving room for the chaos when it needs be?
Finding the space for the guitars to sit, like widen them out a little bit, leave some room for the vocal in the middle. And then I'm kind of mixing it, as I said, kind of like a theater show. I'm kind of like, if Ricky has a line where he's featured, I'll push that up like 3 dB and then pull him back a little bit. And then Spencer, the lead singer, will have his thing and then pull it down a little bit. Just so it's not everyone up all the time, because it doesn't work. It gets too busy and you can't hear anyone at that point.
I was just going to say, your theatrical background, I'm sure helped out a ton with this.
Yeah. It felt like the most natural way for me to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song to mix in this tour?
I like Stabbing in the Dark.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's got it just has a big like powerful vocal part in it. And he's kind of like that big like low, like almost like not Creed, but kind of like a big like fun. It's fun, and it just hits really hard when it comes in. And I like that.
That's awesome. So you're obviously don't have an SE with this tour, do you?
No.
So talk to me about your approach when you walk into a room. Are you doing a virtual sound check? Are you doing a song? Are you just running smart with pink noise? What are you doing?
I'll come in and pink the system, and just kind of see what I'm working with here, see how it reacts to like.
Do you have a predetermined curve you do with it? Okay.
I don't have a smart rig with me. I have it on my laptop, but I'm using that for virtual playback. So I'm kind of just doing a lot of it by ear for this one.
Yeah.
But I kind of know how I want it to, like, if I push the sub fader up, the sub matrix up, put the pink through it, I kind of know what I'm expecting when the console's at unity and the pink fader's at unity. I know, like, okay, that sub is like the level that I'm expecting out of that. If it's not, then I start kind of addressing that on the R1 system or whatever the venue has. Because we've got different PAs every day at this kind of tour level. We don't have the luxury of the same PA in the same room all the time.
So what's your advice to people that are maybe going on their first tour and they have to start doing SE and front of house that have maybe never done that before? Because there's, you can do the club, you get used to your room, get dialed in, but now if you do PA du jour and console du jour, that can be kind of intimidating, especially, I won't say it's easier at bigger level, but you do have an SE that will get it tuned perfectly to you. This is arguably wearing a lot more hats.
Yeah, well, it is definitely not easier, but it's nicer when you've got, so when we come into the Metallica shows, they've got crew for days. They're so lovely to work with. Like, they kind of just hand you the lines of the PA. The first day there, they walked me through. Like, I felt like because I was the new guy in the big room again, kind of thing. The same way that when the openers come in here, I'm kind of trying to extend that to them. I try and share with them what I did in the morning. I'll be like, hey, the subs are a little bit like push your fader up, bring your matrix up 3 dB today. Well, 4 or 5K, I'm like, it's a bit gnarly in here or something like that. I'll just let everyone know.
Yeah.
So that I don't want anyone to have a bad show. Like, I don't want someone to walk away thinking they just had a terrible time.
Yeah.
When if I had the knowledge, I could have given it to them
Yeah.
'Cause that's my experience with things like people share it, and then everyone has a better show.
What's the biggest mistake you see openers make when they come to work with you? Not singling anybody out, but
No, maybe like not being adaptable to, it's like they're locked in. If they have the X32 or whatever they've got, and something goes wrong, they can't not do it. They couldn't like go to the house console and make it happen, or they couldn't.
yeah,
It's the different room, and they just like, right, this always works when I'm mixing at home or something. It's like you have to trust your ears a little bit, like be adaptable, listen to what's happening. It's not always the same.
Have you done one of the, any of the Metallica shows yet?
We've done, I mean, the band has been with them for a few years, but I've done about 4 now.
Okay. What was
We
that
do
like?
one tomorrow as well.
What was that like?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's funny enough, the very first show of the tour was a Metallica show in Toronto at the Rogers Centre. And we went straight so I was in a little room at Rock Lidditz with some little Claire CP6 boxes. And we went straight to the Metallica Million Maya Sound Panther boxes in the round inside a dome. And it was crazy to see how it translated from the rehearsal room to when I went to probably the biggest PA you can mix on.
Did it translate pretty well, or was it?
I was surprised it was okay. Like there was a couple of things. So what they do is they give you access to the 2 towers right in front of house, just as like a starting point. We were fortunate enough to get a sound check day that day, so that kind of helped us out a lot too. And then Chris, their SE, kind of came over and said, "Okay, do you want me to turn everything on just so you know what you're dealing with showtime?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay, let's do it." And it being all indoors, dome roof.
Yeah.
As soon as it hit, I was like, "Oh my God, what is?" Everything was so washy. I was like, I was like, it's kind of nice with this.
Yeah.
And then it went to the whole thing. I was like, oh, I need to pull some stuff back. I'm putting way too much energy into this room.
That would have terrified me, honestly.
Yeah.
Did they give you time to dial it with
Yes.
the full? Okay.
We had, on a normal day, we only have about 30, 45 minutes of line check, virtual, which is kind of all you need now. But on the first day, they were like nice enough to let us come in because it was us and Limp Bizkit had kind of fresh to this thing. So they like set aside the day before the show for us to come in, sound check, make sure everyone was happy and knew what to expect. And I guess that comes from the same place. They don't want anyone to have a terrible show either.
Yeah.
Like, they want everyone to be prepared and sound good. And
What did you do to make it sound better with the whole PA? Did you just bring it all back?
yeah, I just kind of pulled everything back a little bit, realized that like the room itself is going to add certain frequencies that I don't need to be pushing. There's some things you can't change. Like if a venue like that, it's going to be Reflective City. It's going to be Echo City. Like you can't fight that. It's just that's how it's going to be. But just trying to keep it to a minimum so that you have the intelligibility of the vocal and that kind of stuff.
Was there anything you took from that you're bringing back now at this level?
There probably is. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything, because I'm new to the production. The show file itself is just kind of evolving with me. So there's probably a bunch of stuff that's just carried through that I haven't really thought about, but it's just been me learning the show, getting better at the production.
One thing you mentioned that I really like is the energy and dialing back energy, and I've seen that mistake happen at all levels, even at this of.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the new person mistake. Not saying you're making mistakes, but I think even at this, I did it. It's quantity over quality,
Mm-hmm.
and I push up volume, masking my inability to
Sure.
mix, to be able
Yeah.
to dial it back and
Pull
mix
it
it at
back
that
and-
level
yeah.
is tough. But that's smart to be able to do.
Yeah, I'd rather have a better show, a clearer show at 96
Yeah.
than like a real messy show at 103 or something.
Yeah. What are you trying to mix to for these ones? And do you watch it, or you just kind of go by ear?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
When there is a smart rig, I could bring it up. I have smart on my laptop, but I like to record the show so I can have some reference to play back, and I don't want to do both on the same time. But I try and keep it around 100. 100's kind of,
Yeah.
it's not too loud, 99. It's not like crazy loud, but it's not underwhelming.
Yeah.
But sometimes it gets away from you. It happens. One or three appears. We haven't really cracked much more than that. Like, I try not to do it. Like, I don't think you need to be anywhere near that.
Yeah.
Peaks are different, but like an average thing is, I like 100. But like in this venue particularly, I pulled it back a bit. Last night we were at like 96, 98, just because I guess the design of the room is to amplify sound, being an old theater.
Yeah.
So if I put 98 out of the PA into the room, in some parts of the room it's going to be killing someone up the very top. Or if I push more than that, someone's going to be getting nailed up the very back. And that's just the design of the room.
Sure.
And you can't change that.
Yeah. What's one of the best pieces of advice you've gotten from one of your mentors?
Probably. So I also do, I'm an A2 for Parkway Drive.
Oh, cool.
I do the monitor tech, stage tech stuff. And the monitor engineer there is a guy that I really look up to. His name's Anthony Matthews.
Okay.
And just watching him work, like being in that role specifically, being a monitor guy, being focused. You can't afford to be on your phone, looking away,
Yeah.
filming. Like at monitor specific, like you have to be, because when that band, they don't have time to like keep looking at you. So if they look at you once, you want to catch that, and that's how you build that relationship.
Or even the perception of being on your phone.
Yeah, like you don't have. Yeah, you can't afford that.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that is a mistake I see, but they get too comfortable in a job.
Yeah.
And like then, yes, the band probably doesn't ask for anything, but the one time they do, and you're not watching, that's going to catch you every time. It's like, and so just working with him and learning that kind of, I was like, that's the kind of work attitude that I wanted to have, and bring it to the front of house as well. Like try not to be too focused on other things. I try to just make the show sound as good as it possibly can.
Is there any genre of music you would love to mix for?
Country.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I think you end up, there's so much space. The room it's the direct opposite of this. This is like sonic chaos, but it's written to be. It's meant to be. It's meant to hit you hard, and that's what people come to see. Whereas like a country band, I feel like it'd be really cool to have like a laid back feel. The drums are just kind of sitting in the pocket, the guitars, and then there might be a lap steel. I think it'd be great.
Is there any band you'd pay to mix for?
Maybe like Miley Cyrus.
Okay.
Or Luke Combs or something. That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
I think I would like that a lot.
That's cool.
It'd be really fun.
Yeah. For this band and for this show, how much of it are you trying to emulate the record, and how much of it are you just trying to do, a good live show with that? Or even is that even on your mind trying to emulate the record?
Definitely trying to emulate the record.
Okay.
That's one thing that Spencer, the singer, really cares about. He wants it to be as close to the record as possible. And I'm just trying to straddle that line between a good live show and the record sound. So he gets like a lot of the same vocal throws, a lot of the same highlights of, as I was mentioning, like the sound effects and the things from movies. They're very important, and the audience knows every line to every song. So when something happens like that, I'm really trying to catch that, highlight it, put it away again, and then bring up the next bit. Because they'll notice if I miss something. And I kind of try to ride that line. So it is very important to do this, the record.
Yeah.
But I'm also trying to provide, in the context of a live room. So there's certain concessions you have to make, like I can't sometimes get the exact sound because it's just the room itself won't give that to me.
Yeah.
But it's as close to it as possible.
Tell me about the worst gig you have ever done. That was the most chaotic disaster, dumpster fire of a gig. You don't have to give any names with it, but is there any?
Yeah. It would definitely be, there's one that comes to mind. And it wasn't when I was mixing. I was working as a PA tech for Britannia Row. And we went out and did a festival called Creamfields in Liverpool. And anyone that knows this festival will know exactly what I'm talking about. It is mud city. It is just a proper disaster. We're like flying PA off the ground in mud, doing techno stages until 5 a.m. And then we went back and we were sharing like showered facilities with volunteers. And they were just filthy, by the time you got there every day, there was never any toilet paper, and it was just a disaster. And the whole I guarantee that everyone on that crew hated every minute of
Oh,
it. Like, it was
jeez.
just, it's a hard gig.
Oh, man. So with being on the road so much and being away from family and the chaos of all of it, how do you keep grounded through it, and how do you kind of keep a semblance of home and reality?
Yeah. The cool thing about this tour is we have maybe the luxury of time on the second day in the morning.
Yeah.
So like, we don't sound check until sort of like 1:30, 1 p.m. So I kind of have that morning time to myself. I can go and walk into the city and just kind of be not a person on the road. I can just be a person in a city. I can take that time to call home. I can I can do all that sort of, just kind of getting away from being around tour. It's not that I don't like it, I just, when you spend every minute with the same people, it's nice to just kind of be anonymous a little bit somewhere else.
I get that.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to shift over to take it to the equipment, maybe do a stage walkthrough of stuff. So for my Patreon members, if you're a Patreon member, if you want to support this, please go down below. My website's below. Only reason we could do this is because people like you. So if you're a Patreon member, here we go. If not, if people want to follow you in your career, where can they follow you at?
Instagram, Phil Kanes.
Phil Kanes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's just my name kind of backwards.
I love it. Cool. We'll do this.